You know that old adage, you can never have too many books? Well, let's be honest, I have too many books, but that does not stop me from shopping. Let me show you some of the books that I've picked up lately. Come take a look. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and I hope that you are getting some fantastic reading in. I am still plugging along on the National Book Award long list. I'm hoping to have that whole thing done fairly soon, but I'm enjoying it. It's actually quite exciting to read all of the books that are up for that award. I cannot wait to tell you guys all about them. But today I'm here to tell you about some of the books that I've picked up while I've been out and about. As I've told you guys, I've went and saw Colson Whitehead and Jacqueline Woodson down in Santa Cruz, which meant 2 trips to Bookshop Santa Cruz, which is absolutely one of my favorite local independent bookstores in my area. And I have picked up a number of things, and I've also picked some stuff up in my local area. I have a Books Inc., which is not too far from me, and I've picked up some stuff there too. So let's get started. As always, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. If you are so able, I ask that you order these books from your local independent bookstore and or have your library get them for you so that you can get them as soon as possible, get your hands on them, read it, and tell me all about it. So let's get started. The first book that I picked up recently is Royal Assassin. This is book 2 in the Robin Hobb, the Farseer trilogy. I was sort of heavily pushed to read Robin Hobb. I was super nervous because all I had heard were great things, and I read Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first book in this series, and I thought it was absolutely excellent. It was a fun, rompy, fantasy, epic, just what I needed when I read it. And this is book 2 in this series. I'm still struggling very much with this trade paperback size, but that's what they come in, so I will read them. But I'm super excited. If you guys don't remember, Assassin's Apprentice was about Fitz. He is a young boy. He is, when he is about 6 years old, he is brought back to the king because he is the son of the prince, the next king, and he was born out of wedlock. So he is not a legitimate heir to the throne, but it's the story of him being taken to the main castle. His father gives up the throne and disappears, and he is trained basically to be an assassin for the current king. And it has political intrigue, it has a little bit of magic, it has a lot of stuff to do with the ability to speak to animals. It's about relationships. It's a great world to dive into that doesn't get too complicated, which you know I struggle with, but I absolutely adored it, and so I cannot wait to read book 2. So this is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, book 2 in the Farseer trilogy. The next book is a slim, tiny little thing, and I hope that I can get how beautiful this cover is on camera here. It's a little bit difficult with the lighting, but this is Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima, translated from the Japanese by Geraldine Harcourt. This is out from FSG. And I saw this, where did I see this? I want to say I saw this on Sean the Book Maniac's channel. I think that cover is gorgeous and my camera does it absolutely no justice. This is the story of a young mother who, her husband has left her. She has been left with her young daughter who is 2 years old, and it's about her coming to terms with being a single mom and what that means. And I love the way it says here, her new home is filled with light streaming through the windows, so bright she has to squint, but she finds herself plummeting deeper into darkness, becoming unstable, untethered. As the months come and go and the seasons turn, she must confront what she has lost and who she will become. It appears that Yuko is a very famous Japanese writer, and we are finally getting her books into English. I believe from what I read, Geraldine Harcourt is currently working on translating 2 more of her works of fiction. Yeah, it says here in the book, 2 more works of fiction by her. But Yuko has one, or had one. She passed away in 2016. The I'm not going to even try. Won 3 different literary prizes in Japan. So I think that this sounds great. I love a book about a mother-daughter relationship, and I love that sort of idea of going into yourself. When life is expected to be one way and then something changes outside of your own power, and then you have to figure out where it's going to go from there. That's one of my favorite narrative discussions. So I'm really excited about Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima, and this is translated by Geraldine Harcourt. Okay, the next book, this is a beautiful naked hardback, and this is Costalegre by Courtney Maum. This is gorgeous. This is inspired by the real-life relationship between heiress Peggy Guggenheim and her daughter Pegan. But this is set right around the start of, I want to say World War II. It's like 1937. And Hitler is sort of starting to gain his power. And it's a story of a woman, an American heiress, and she is an art collector. And she decides to take a group of surrealist artists into this remote town in the jungles of Mexico. And she wants to save art. She also takes art there, but she also wants to save these artists so that they can create their art. But the story is told from the point of view of her daughter, Leonora, who feels neglected by her mother. And I love what it says here. Laura suffers from emotional, educational, and geographical instability that a Mexican sojourn with surrealists isn't going to help. But when she meets the outcast Dadaist sculptor, Jack Klinger, Laura thinks she may have found the love and understanding she so badly craves. So can we just take a moment? This is one of the most gorgeous naked hardbacks, and that's Costalegre by Courtney Maum. And this book is blurbed by Amelia Gray, Samantha Hunt, R.O. Kwan. So it's got some big blurbs on it. So I'm really excited about this. This is a book that I have picked up a number of times and almost bought. So I finally bought it for myself. The next book I bought is the memoir Homesick by Jennifer Croft. This is out by Unnamed Press. Jennifer Croft is a very, very famous and very, very talented translator. She translated Flights that won the Man Booker International Prize 2 years ago. This is a book about her relationship with her sister, and I believe her sister becomes ill. Let's see, and it talks about language, and what I think is really interesting is Jennifer actually changes and names herself Amy in the book, and it says, spending her childhood in and out of hospitals and undergoing multiple surgeries, Zoe watches Amy flourish intellectually, gleaming through books and language the possibilities of a world beyond their uncommon life at home. This world becomes real with Amy's first love, the young Russian tutor Sasha, who challenges the aspirations of both sisters. But it is only when Amy separates from her sister and enters university at the age of 15 that both their lives change drastically and with tragic results. So I want to just say, Unnamed Press did an amazing job. Look at how beautiful those end papers are. That I started this. I have started this, but the National Book List has got in the way of it. It is phenomenally beautiful. It is textually interesting, and also just she's so good. She's such a writer. So this is Homesick by Jennifer Croft, out from Unnamed Press. Okay. The next book I picked up was the middle grade book, Pet, and I'm gonna hold her name up, their name up. I apologize for that, because I always struggle with I'm sorry, I always struggle. For me, it's just not a sound that my throat can make. Emezi. They're famous for the novel Freshwater that did very, very well, and this is their foray into young adult fiction. Now, this is about a young girl and her friend who have been told that monsters no longer exist in the world until one day she meets a monster named Pet. And Pet has come to hunt a monster himself. And Pet has come to hunt a monster, and the shadow of something grim lurks in Redemption's house. Jam, who is our main character, must fight not only to protect her best friend Redemption, but also to uncover the truth and the answer to the question, how do you save the world from monsters if no one will admit they exist? So, I think this is great. I'm actually going to take this. I'm headed on vacation up to Oregon to visit some family, and I'm going to take this with me, and I'm going to try to see if I can read it to my niece and my nephew. And that is Pet, and it's by author's name, Emezi. I apologize. I struggle. I've listened to it on Google, and the sound, the first part of that name just doesn't fit in my throat. So I'm so sorry. I really do try. The next book that I picked up is a book that I have been recommended by people on Instagram, and that's The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix E. Harrow. I'm going to read you guys what this book is about because this sounds like a super fun. It is a sort of a fantasy mystery type of thing. It says, in a sprawling mansion filled with peculiar treasures, January Scholar is a curiosity herself. As the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, she feels little different from the artifacts that decorate the halls, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. Then she finds a strange book, a book that carries the scent of other worlds and tells a tale of secret doors of love, adventure, and danger. Each page turn reveals impossible truths about the world, and January discovers a story increasingly entwined with her own. So, that sounds fantastic. You know I love a book about a book. I love a book about a magic book. I love about a book about young people getting lost in books. So that is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix E. Harrow. And yeah, I'm all in for it. And this is a beautiful cover. This was one of the big books that people were grabbing up at Book Expo America that they really wanted to get their hands on, and I was just not quick enough. But last but not least, I told you guys that I went and saw Jacqueline Woodson in conversation with Carolina de Robertis, and this is her new novel, Cantoras. Now, this sounds absolutely fantastic, and I love that I got it signed by her, and she was absolutely amazing. She was telling me about her and her wife and her children, and she's a teacher, and we were talking about Instagram and how do you have time to do it, and I was telling her I don't, and she says she doesn't either. I totally loved her, thought she was great. This is set in 1977 Uruguay. All I'm gonna say is this is about five women who are in love with each other. They are lesbian women who are looking for a place to be safe. And somehow they all find one another and discover this place called Cabo Polonio. And it's sort of this cape that's hidden, and there's like a lonely lighthouse keeper there, and they go there and they create a life. But of course, life itself wants to interfere, but they're not going to let it destroy the life that they are building. So that is Carolina de Robertis' Cantoras, and this is out now from Knopf, so you can get your hands on it. I think that sounds lovely. So those are the books. Let me see if I can hold them up for you guys that I have purchased lately. See if I can get them all in the same angle here. And this is the stack of those books. I hope all of them wound up on your TBR. As always, if you are a return subscriber, I thank you so much for coming along. If you are new to my channel, I hope you stick around and listen to me talk about some more books. As always, I encourage you to shop locally, read globally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye!